wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow, and the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day to leave behind your troubles. There's a new day, and it will set you free. There's a new day to get you through your struggles. I will always think of you and me. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit.
I have finished, well, not completely finished, but I have finished the tubes for my ankle socks. And now I'm going to pick up for the afterthought heel. But I just have to see what size he has, because he has just one size larger than my dad. So, okay. So I think this will be right. And here we go.
There's a new day, it is waiting for us. There's a new day waiting round the bend.
And now I'm going to, now that I have picked up the stitches from both sides of where I'm supposed to make the cut, now I'm just going to snip the yarn. I usually put my hand inside the sock, so by accident I don't snip through to both layers of fabric. So then I just stretch the stitches a bit, take the one in the middle and pull it a bit and snip it. It's actually much easier than it looks. It felt intimidating in the beginning, but it's not. It really isn't. You can find lots of tutorials on YouTube. I think this would be called cut-in heel. So, and now I'm just going to take that line of yarn that I snipped. So that row I'm just unraveling from both sides. But when I come to the end, here, I will not pick up all of the stitches. I will leave 2 stitches on this side and 2 stitches on this side without unpicking the yarn, so that way when I pick up the stitches to make the heel, it doesn't leave the hole on the side. I tend to unravel this middle row of yarn using a darning needle. It's blunt enough. I find using scissors a bit awkward, but this works perfectly. I think you can do it with a knitting needle as well, but usually I just pick up the darning needle. So I'm coming close to the end, and I'm going to show you what I mean by leaving 2 stitches on the side. Okay, so now, because I have picked up, I have unraveled this yarn. Even though the stitches are picked up from here, I didn't unravel all the way until the end. The same here. And that will help, well, I don't have any holes basically on the side of where the heel starts. I don't tend to get any holes ever since I started doing that. Normally I use, for knitting of the socks, normally I use those tiny circular needles. I use Addy Wonder, I think they're called. So they are, I don't know if you can, they are, one of the tips is longer than the other. So normally I use those for knitting the socks, but then when I need to start decreasing for the toe and to do the heel, I switch to a longer needle and I use the magic loop method. So now, okay, so now what I did, I picked up the stitches, which you saw me before, and I have introduced the new yarn for the heel, and I have knitted 1 round. But what I'm going to do before I start decreasing, I'm going to knit another 2 or 3 rounds just to increase the depth of the heel, and then start decreasing to make the circle, the round, the actual heel. But I have 1 knitted round, and I will probably do another 2 or 3 rounds just in plain knitting and then start decreasing.
There's a new day, and it will restore us. There'll be new ways. This is not the end.
I wanted to thank you for encouraging me to continue on the garter blanket from last week. This is the blanket, in case you didn't see last week's video. This is the blanket, and I have been knitting on it for about 1.5 years now. And I was in 2 minds about it a few times, whether I should, it's really big, whether I should continue or frog it and reuse the yarn, because it's taking so long, and there were certain things that I minded about it. But so many of you have encouraged me, and I will continue, because now there is a story behind it, and all of you are involved in it as well. So now when I finish the blanket, not now, it's going to take a while because it's so big. It's like a double bed size blanket. And when I finish it, it's going to have the story of all of you as well. So I'm going to have to continue. So thank you for that. And before I forget, because last week I was showing you not all of the blankets that I have knitted or crocheted, but most of them, or the ones that I have. And I forgot to include one, which the reason why I forgot to include it is because it's permanently on my bed in the bedroom, and we use it on top of the quilt. And it's so warm, it's keeping us so warm, and it's always there, and I just forgot to bring it. It's crochet blanket, simple single crochet, and I showed this blanket in the first episode of this channel. I have done it out of my hand spun yarn, and the way that I did it, I was spinning, I was trying out different breeds, like I had like 100 grams of different breeds. And so as I was spinning it, I was just putting it in this crochet blanket, simple single crochet. But I love this blanket. It's a bit rough because most of the breeds that I used for this particular blanket are more of rustic, higher micron breeds. But it's really it's really nice and really, really warm. Let me try to get up to show it to you. And it goes on. These are all natural colors of the sheep, so none of them are dyed. And yeah, it's just, as I said, it's permanently on my bed, but I forgot to include it. And it's even though it's not as soft, it's my most used blanket because I use it every night. Now, I didn't depil it ever since I made it, and it's not too bad, but it does need some care. I need to take the cleaner and clean it up, all the fuzz. Okay, so that's the one that I forgot. And I told you in the last episode that every time I tend to forget something. So now I started making notes of everything that I want to talk about. So if you see me referring to my notebook, it's because of that, because every time I forget something. Okay. I finished the socks that I was knitting for my uncle. And I finished them a couple of days ago, which I'm really happy about. These are the socks. I didn't block them or anything. These are the socks I showed you. They are knitted from undyed strand of sock yarn that I have on a cone that has a bit of nylon, and also a strand of mohair blend. Now, this particular mohair is quite hairy because you know that there are different types, some of them that have shorter kind of like fluff and some of them longer. This one is quite hairy. So it was tough on my hands because I was using 2.5 millimeter needles. But I wanted to make it that tough because so my uncle can use it when he goes hiking, because he goes mountaineering every weekend. So this is how they came out. It's white sock yarn and brown mohair blend. So these are ready for my parents to take to him to Belgrade when they go, I think next month or the one after. So these are ready, and I'm done with that present, and I was done with the other blanket that my parents are going to take for my auntie. So that is off my mind, and I'm happy also for my hands that they are finished. Let me put this here okay. This next thing that I have on the list is every week I'm going to try to address 1 or 2 questions that you guys were leaving in the comments. And this time is some people ask me about the yarn ball that I use, in particular these yarn balls. They're not yarn balls, they are salad balls, and I just got them in a local shop. Inside they're plastic, and on the outside they're wood. They come in 2 different sizes. Really pretty. I love them. And I do have one proper yarn ball that my sister bought me a couple of Christmases ago. Let me see if it's here. It is. Give me a sec. It's this one. It's a proper yarn ball that I use every day. Now this one is heavier than the salad balls, and it has this little swirl here so you can put your yarn through it. However, I never use this part to pull the yarn through this, because I find that the yarn gets caught, because this is wood and it's not sanded perfectly. If it was ceramic, maybe I would. I use it daily, usually for socks, so I put just one ball inside, and it's very, very well used. But to be honest, you don't really need yarn balls. At least it's not necessary to have especially yarn ball bought for this purpose. You can use so many different things. Like I showed you, you can use salad bowls, and I have some other ones as well. But they're so pretty, and there are different designs as well. They're really pretty and pleasure to... I enjoy it when I see the yarn in it and pull. And even though they are more shallow, the other one is more rounded, so it definitely like securely keeps the yarn cake inside. When I have this next to me, I really don't tend to have a problem with it. So yeah, so the yarn balls that you were asking me about it, they are not really made for yarn, they're made for salad. But nonetheless, I use them like this, and they're working just fine. This year, because last year I knitted a lot of gifts. I knitted jumpers for my mom, for my sister, for Mario. I knitted so many different socks. So this year I thought, you know what? I'm gonna knit for myself this year. I'm gonna make a whole box of socks for myself, and I'm gonna focus on jumpers for me as well. Well, you know, that was the plan, and yes, I will do that. However, I already promised my brother-in-law that I'm gonna make him a jumper for his birthday, which is in November, so I have time. And my mom, when she saw me wearing this cabled jumper, I'll wear it in one of the few next episodes, but if I have a picture or a video, I'll put it in here. And she saw me wearing, it's a raglan jumper, but it has cables here at the raglan increases. And she saw it and she said, oh, I want that one, exactly like this. And I said, Mom, but I can make it, no, I want exactly like that, but probably different color. So okay, so I'll make that for her as well, probably for her birthday sometime in September. And a couple of weeks ago, my sister, she saw me wearing one dark gray, black turtleneck that I knitted last year. And she saw it before, but this time she saw me wearing it with the black coat. And the next day she came and she said, you know, this turtleneck that you were wearing, could you maybe like make me one for my birthday? Okay, so this is the jumper that Tamara saw me wearing that day, and she wants me to make one for her birthday. You've seen this jumper before. I've knitted this one in black for myself and a brown one last year for my mom's, and it's my favorite jumper to wear. It's made from, I knitted it from Drops Sky. So this is the one, and when she saw me, I was wearing this coat, and that's what she said that really got it for her. She said when she saw me with the coat and this jumper, she fell in love, and she asked me, okay. So I was wearing it like this the other day, and that's what she was referring to when referring to. This outfit made her want me to knit her this jumper, and she asked me to do so, which I already started. You probably know I'm probably talking about it in the talking segment of the video. I love this coat. I got this coat a couple of years ago. It's kind of knee length. I don't know if you can see. But you see the dark side of the marketing. When I got the coat, on the label, there was an illustration of a little sheep. I didn't read the inside of the label, but you know, it's a coat and there is the illustration of the little sheep. So straight away you assume that it has wool content. Later on, when I got it and I saw the inside, there was no wool inside whatsoever. But they were playing the tricks on the people, you know, and they put the illustration of the sheep, and so you assume that it's wool. There was no wool in it. It's not a big deal for me because, you know, the weather here is relatively mild, but still kind of a shitty move from the brand. I suppose it happens more than we know. Nonetheless, I love the coat, and apparently so does my sister, especially with this jumper. So her birthday is in November, and yes, I'm happily going to make her the jumper, to knit her the jumper. But even though her birthday is in November, I realized that I actually have the yarn. I have used Drop Sky for mine, and I have made for my mom last year from the same yarn, the same model. I have made it in brown. And I already had the yarn, so I thought, okay, even though her birthday is in November, I have finished my striped jumper, and there is really no need to wait until November if I have the yarn. So what I have been working on since we last spoke is that jumper for Tamara. It's this chain net construction Drop Sky. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn, very soft, pleasure to work with, pleasure to wear, very light. My jumper has pilled. It doesn't really, because I have it in the same color as this. It's not a big deal because it's a dark color. I don't know, because I want to knit in a few different colors this jumper because I love the fit. It's probably my best fitting jumper. I don't know whether that pilling is going to show and bother me more in a lighter colors. We'll see. The only thing is to experiment because I really like the fit, and the yarn is pretty inexpensive. So I had 4.5 balls of this, which is what I used for my size. So I started making this for her. I put the sleeves on hold. It's DK weight yarn, and I'm working on the body now. I think it's going to take me maybe another 1-2 weeks to finish it. But also what is good about starting to work on the project now, even though it's for November, is that this way, if I see that I need more yarn, I can just order it and I have plenty of time. And I'm not in a hurry to finish anything else now. I told you I finished my uncle's socks, which I had a time limit for that. So I'm going to actually make her birthday present for November now. And if I see that I need more yarn, I'll just order more yarn. I did buy, I wanted to try Cascade 220. I never try. I have Cascade 220 fingering, but I have only used it holding it together with another yarn. So I never tried it on its own. And I heard so many good things about Cascade 220, and I ordered 2 colors for 4 skeins of each from Lovecrafts. The green one is, I think on the website on Lovecrafts, I think it's called Turtle Heather, and the burgundy one, I think it's Red Wine Heather or something like that. This is the green one. And this is the purple one. On the first touch, it's not extremely soft, definitely not like Sugar Baby Alpaca, but it's not rustic. And when I put it next to my skin, my neck, which is the most sensitive, I think I could be able to wear this. I will not know until I try it. But then again, the reason why I ordered four skeins of each, even though normally for my jumpers I need 300 grams or less, I figured this is a bit thicker yarn. I don't really know how much it's going to go, so to be on the safe side, I ordered 400 grams of each color. So this is something also that I'm going to experiment. And I know the Drops Lima is the same weight, so 200 meters per 100 grams. So I'm gonna try to swatch with both of these yarns and see what kind of gauge I get and what kind of fabric I get and play with this. That's also down the line. Okay, let me see. Yes, the last thing that I want to talk to you about is some time ago, around Thanksgiving, I spoke to Jackie from Caddy Jack's Yarn, and I have never met her in real life, but lately, I'm sorry about that noise, my dog is drinking water, I don't know if you can hear it. But I spoke to her around Thanksgiving, and for some time before that, every time I really wanted to do something for her. I'm not going to get into the reasons why. I really wanted to reach out through the screen and send her and give her a hug. But you see, hugs come in many forms. So I asked her if she would be okay if I made something for her, because I already had in my mind what I wanted to make for her. Because when we cannot be with people, you know, and have that physical touch or that face-to-face communication, and at least us as makers, you know, we can do something in this way. And she was very happy that I was going to make something for her, so I decided to weave her a shawl. I recorded the process, and I will leave you with the process of making the shawl for Jackie. But I'm going to show you the two yarns that I used. For the warp, I used commercial yarn. This is what I'm doing from now on, because I made a mistake a few times that I used my hand spun, and it didn't turn out well. It was giving me problems while I was weaving. So for the warp, I used the commercial yarn, which is these vertical strands of yarn that are holding the tension on the loom. But for the weft, I have used my hand spun. Now this black merino it collected everything else on it. So I have used black merino, my hand spun, just 100% merino, and this beige, which is a blend of 50% merino and 50% baby camel. I cannot explain to you how soft this is. This is velvety soft, and it really actually has this velvety quality to it. So she received the shawl and she liked it, and I was very happy that I could send her a hug, at least in this way. And I hope you're gonna like it, and I'm gonna leave you with the process of making Jackie's shawl. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.
If I wrote you a song, if I got every word, perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper. Would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem, if I posted a letter? Is it maybe because I never knew quite where I was, then suddenly you told me, baby, you're lost, but I am too. Whatever the cost, we'll make it through. Tell me you're the one for me now, 'cause what am I supposed to do? If you are not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do. If I told you that I don't know where I'm going, don't know what to say, but I go without knowing. If I told you that I don't know what to believe in, don't know how to pray, but I pray anyway. Tell me you're the one for me now, 'cause what am I supposed to do?